Dude, like my friend Jacob, who's in our channel, he actually took this test for like this grocery store he was working at or something, and like apparently it's not politically correct to call someone I think it's what was it? Blind?
What?
Like
Blind,
blind or deaf, you're not allowed
But
to. It's like visually impaired or it's like
hearing
but it's
impaired.
not impaired if you literally can't see. Like
Yeah.
what? It's
What level?
blind.
What level of impairment do you have?
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
it's a little bit
Yeah.
weird that now people like define things with a word, and then it's only so long before that word becomes bad by association.
Exactly.
Like with anything that seems offensive, at one point that was just the word they used to define something, and then apparently it's bad now.
Yeah.
Right. You know what's weird? And it just always drove me crazy is that like some people think that it's racist to describe a race by the actual name of their race. Do you know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
know, it's
Like
Yeah, I think I
strange.
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
here in America, it is racist to say a Mexican is a Mexican. There's no negative connotation with that. It's just a simple fact.
Yeah,
Were you
they're
born in
from
Mexico?
Mexico.
Then you're a Mexican. Hey, no, you can't say that about him. Like, wait, what did I say? I just okay.
What's the proper term for a Mexican there?
I don't know. I just don't talk to anybody just for safety reasons. You
Nationally
can't offend
impaired?
anybody with a mouth shut. Yeah, nationally impaired.
Yeah.
You see, now that's some real racism. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Quick Attack Podcast. That's a good opener right there. Starting out with
That'll work.
racism. So things are going to be a little bit different from here on out in terms of the podcast. Jeremy's not going to be in all of them, but hopefully, Happily Ever After Gaming here will be as a
I'll
permanent member
try.
of the podcast. He's going to do his best. And we're going to try to make it a little more casual than normal, and I'd like to do one once a month. So that's my basic plan for this podcast. So after that,
Right.
let's just who wants to talk about their December first?
Uh,
Caleb, do it. Do it. Do it.
all right, all right, all
Do
right.
it.
So, well, first, let me just back up really quick and just quickly abbreviate October and November as one. October and November, what an exciting time in the Happily Ever After Gaming fan base.
Crazy
We
time.
saw we saw growth of like over 9,000%, and that's not an exaggeration. I went from less than 300 subscribers to I'm now sitting at 10,000 as of right now. So a huge, huge growth, and it's all thanks to the fans of the television series Adventure Time, who have come to watch my newest series, Adventure Time Explained. Within my first month of this new success, I saw very, very quickly growing monetary gains on YouTube, and that was very exciting. I thought, hey, I think I'm going to quit my job here in a couple months. But YouTube, oh,
It
then they showed up in December.
it shit the
They
bed
said,
a bit.
hey, you, I see you have a very nice AdSense account there. It'd be a shame if somebody happened to, you know. And so they changed the algorithm. And now I don't know how to get people to watch my videos. I get like punished for uploading videos. Like I'm better off if I don't upload anything. But then my viewers are mad because they're not seeing anything. So I don't really know what to do. But we're still gonna keep on pushing through. I'm gonna keep uploading stuff anyway. I figure if we just keep the fans happy, despite not making a lot of money. I wasn't making a lot of money on here for the last year and a half, and I was doing that. So I think I should just keep on doing that, and maybe one day it'll turn back around.
Yeah,
But as of right now, it is still a lot more fun, I have to say, uploading a video and knowing I'm going to actually get some social interaction than I was a year ago getting nothing. So even if you took the money aspect out, just having people, talking to you, communicating about your videos, it's a very good feeling.
it
And
became sort of a lose-lose situation for a lot of people where it was like, if I don't upload, then people are going to unsubscribe anyways, but whenever I upload, it automatically unsubscribes people.
right, and you just hope that they come back. And I did see a lot of that on my channel, people leaving those comments. Hey, somehow
Yeah,
I
I
got
saw those on
unsubscribed from
your
you.
channel too.
Yeah, yeah. So that was very interesting. Uh, in my personal life, I'm about 3 to 4 weeks away from having my second child, another
Congratulations.
boy. Thank you. He is going to be taking some time, so expect uploads to be a little bit sporadic for that for the launch of this new expansion pack, and we'll just see how things go, and maybe I can get some content updates. Who knows?
Do you have a
And then
do you have a name picked out yet?
yes, his name is Elijah, and we just really like that name. My son's name, my other son, my oldest son, his name is Ezra, so we're continuing with the E sound, and we watched I think every season of Wilfred in a weekend, and Elijah Woods is the main character.
I was thinking Lord of the Rings. I was really fighting
Yeah, yeah,
back, making
same
a
guy,
Smeagol joke.
same guy, Elijah Woods, and my wife would not enjoy anybody asking if that's where we got the name, but in my opinion, it is.
Well,
But yeah,
I
we won't
appreciate
talk
that.
about that too much. We won't talk about that too much. And then besides, the channel and the baby, uh,
How's your Christmas?
Christmas was cool. I got to learn firsthand that children, like toddlers, are not very materialistic,
Yeah.
which I guess that's a good thing. It really is. However, my son, who is 3, had a TV, and his TV was the same TV that I got for my birthday when I was 10. So this was a very large, old school
Right.
tube television.
Yeah,
And
seriously.
it was awesome back then. Yeah, sure. But now, it's super outdated. So for Christmas this year, I thought, I think I'll get my son a new TV. I didn't even tell my wife, so it was a surprise to everyone. And I got him, a nice 40-inch flat screen television. And he pulled that wrapper off and he looked at me confused. And he's like, "I already have a TV." And I was like, "Yeah, but this one's better." And he said, "I don't want it." And it kind of killed me. But it's I take the good and the bad. He wasn't grateful for his present immediately. He likes it now, but I guess that's a good thing that he just didn't really have much of a need for it. He knew that that need was already met, and he didn't have to have another one.
Yeah, you know what?
So I
Enjoy
guess
that while it lasts, because in a couple years.
right, right. So yeah, my holidays were pretty interesting, pretty good, pretty drama free on my side of the world. So why don't we hear about some of your stuff?
Jeremy, I probably have more to go over than you do, so if you want to go talk about some of your stuff.
Sure. I don't really have much to talk about, honestly. Past couple of months has just been me working, trying to get money, so that's always fun. After that, kind of quit work because I got school in January. And once I did that, then I just started, editing a bunch of videos for YouTube. Oh boy, I have a lot edited. It's actually kind of crazy. I got like fucking 20 to 30 videos just done, but I don't want to upload any of them because like Brennan's gonna be working like a shit ton getting videos up on the channel, and he's gonna have a lot more videos done than me. So I'm just gonna release mine like kind of twice a week, once a week kind of thing. So that way it's never like done and then boom, you never see it again kind of thing.
Right.
Um, After that, Christmas was really good actually. I didn't get video games as usual because I'm a Nintendo guy and a PC gamer, and honestly, nothing really came out that you know came to me like, oh shit, I should buy that immediately. All the games that I'm really looking forward to is stuff like Breath of the Wild, Ukulele, all that stuff, which is coming out in like a couple months. So it
Oh
wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah, Ukulele.
I've got a
Um,
question, Jeremy.
what's up?
It's probably kind of spoily, but I'm gonna ask it anyways because I'm curious if you've even checked it out yet. But that the Mario Party video we recorded this month, is that even gonna be usable?
Brendan, I haven't got to that yet.
We did some drunk
Uh,
Mario Party with a large group of people, and honestly, I don't think it's gonna be usable.
No, it
It's
definitely is because the ending's fucking hilarious as shit, and I really want to use it.
but there's some things you just might have to cut, right?
A
Yeah,
lot.
it
Like
depends.
Not to say
Like
too.
90%
there
of
was
the
at
thing.
least like 3 to 4 hours of recording, so like if I can even get like 10 minutes out of it, like best moments kind of thing, I definitely will. Cause yeah, that was actually like really, really funny.
That
It's
James part at
awesome.
the end is so good.
Yeah, it was so good. James was so freaking gone. Oh my goodness. To the point where like he finished puking and was like, "Where's my drink?" I was like, "God damn, dude, no!" I was like, "Here's a water. You're definitely not drinking more, you
Uh,
freaking idiot."
he actually puked and then said, "Where's my drink?" And you said no, and so he pulled $20 out of his wallet and threw it and said, "I've got money. Make me another drink."
I was like, no.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah, we just recorded a bunch actually over the
A
holidays.
lot.
Some good, some very,
Uh,
very bad that I can't talk about
no.
because I want to kill myself. Anyways, um, I got a GameCube controller coffee table. That was also really cool.
Your
yes,
dad's
yes, that
legendary,
was
dude.
really cool.
Yeah, my dad actually made that out of just plywood, and
He
it
hand
was
painted that Captain
fucking
Falcon.
yeah. He
Dude,
hand painted it. It was
it
just
looks so legit.
oh my goodness. I would just wake up to it and like look at it and be like, how? What?
Right.
Oh, it's
I told
crazy.
him he's
But
got to
yeah,
loan it to me. I've got some
that pretty
giants
much
talking
wraps up
shit.
my holidays. Nothing really much after that, to be honest.
Well, I had a lot go on in the month of December, and it all started with what was my initial plan for those who saw that first video I uploaded, where I was going to be recording as much as I could on my own, and then every day that any of us had free, we were going to be hanging out and recording as a group. And so the first day Jeremy came down, we set up and we get one night of recording, and I was supposed to be staying there a second night. And immediately the morning after that, I get a phone call from my mother telling me my grandfather passed away. So that kind of threw a wrench in the plans, for starters. I actually stayed at Jeremy's that night too, because I didn't really want to make my father, whose dad had just passed away, have to come all the way out and pick me up that night. So I stayed there that night too, and we got a little bit of recording done that night also, but honestly, my commentary was probably a little lacking because I wasn't quite in the mood for it. And what was supposed to happen the night after that was I was supposed to come home, and then Jake was going to come down, and we were going to work on that series that I mentioned in that video. And I wasn't really in the mood for recording that night, so we sort of just hung out and had some drinks and relaxed. After that, of course, I had a funeral to go to, and also two members of my family have birthdays in the month of December. So my brother's was on the 22nd, which was like right after the funeral, and my father's was on Christmas Eve, so we celebrated that during the day and went to my grandmother's during the night. And then there was actually Christmas, and after that it led into New Year's, and we sort of got together as much as we could to group record because we didn't have a whole lot of time left before Jeremy had to leave. So I didn't actually get anywhere near the amount of work done I wanted to for the channel. So that's sort of why it was a little more stagnant. So I'd like to make sure that's all cleared up there and apologize that I wasn't able to stick to the schedule. Following
Yeah,
that,
but good. You had some pretty decent reasons, I'd say. Little bit more important things than YouTube sometimes.
yeah, well, immediately following that, when I set up to record in January, my dog went into heart failure. So I think my recording sessions are just cursed or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great. Well, I don't want to say it wasn't a great month. I had some good times with family, but there was some rough patches in there for sure.
Right.
I played a lot of video games in December. A lot of video games. And I actually want to start it off by asking you about a video game that you played, Caleb, because I've been meaning to ask you about it, and I keep forgetting to. What do you think of
Sure.
Dark Souls 2 so far?
Dark Souls 2. What do I think of Dark Souls 2? Well, I think that it has a very, very polished world. It's very beautiful, and it
Except Shaded
is,
Woods.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Shaded
we
Woods
don't
looks
talk
like
about
garbage.
Shaded Woods. Uh, there's actually a couple areas that don't look, this like they don't fit the game.
Yeah.
Being honest, but Dark Souls is famous for that. The Dark Souls series, they always seem to have like that one or two areas that either when once they started it, they were just like, I don't like this, and just started doing something else, and
It
then like
often seems to
last
be
minute they're
forced
like,
areas.
because you got to think. Well, in Dark Souls 1, what do you got? You got freaking um, what is the zone called? The fire, the lava area. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I can't
Oh my
remember the name of
gosh,
the
I can't
zones.
even think of the
It's
name
been
of
a
it at the
while.
moment. But yeah, so just like unfinished. They didn't really want to put a whole lot of work into it. But the areas that they did, polish, it's got a level of just like stylized art like artistic style. It's just I don't know how to really explain it other than it is like awe-inspiring. It is one game where I do find myself not moving and just like looking at the sky or looking at the ocean or looking at just the landscapes and
Looking at the
admiring them,
JPEGs.
looking at the pixels. So yeah, it's
Looking
just
at
like
the
really
Ornifex ass.
now. Besides that, I do obviously have some complaints about Dark Souls 2. I just didn't really feel, um, I felt a little disappointed with the combat system, and it just, it didn't feel like it had the fluidity of some other titles in the series, and I felt like they're just like I don't know, like my weapons seem to like break really fast in Dark Souls 2, which was like a pain in the butt.
Yeah, there is a lot
And
of Dex weapons that just don't hold up. Also,
right,
you're
like
playing it on PC, correct?
right.
And I believe there's actually a PC bug where if you hit walls with your weapon, it does like extra
Yes.
damage to your weapon.
Yeah, and it does. And see, in Dark Souls 1, it had some weird bugs, but they had the DS fix mod that someone
Yeah,
made
yeah,
that fixed all that. If you use any mods in Dark Souls 2, you will get banned. They catch it like immediately. Their bot detection or whatever they have is very strong, and you will
Wow, that
not be able to
sucks.
play online. So you just have to roll with it vanilla. So I mean, it is a good thing that the game does look good. Because like Dark Souls 1, after you've played it as many times as I have, I can't play that game without mods because it's aged now. That game's going on 10 years old and it's starting to get ugly.
Now there is a part of Dark Souls 2 that I like more than any other Dark Souls games. So I want to ask your opinion on it, and that's just the hub. That's Majula. It
Yes,
has my favorite hub world with my favorite music.
I agree with you, 100%. I think Majula is actually the. I'm not going to say it's like I think the most effective hub, but I think
No,
it is the most uh, enjoyable hub, and that's where I mainly find myself like just chilling out and actually just wasting time in.
the music
And
is so goddamn amazing.
the
It's so good.
music is it's perfect. The Majula theme is so good that I have actually used it. I don't know how many Adventure Time Explained videos I have. Something like I don't know, 20 maybe. I've used it in probably 6 of them in one spot or another.
It's next
So
level.
so yeah, it's already like invaded like 35% of that, which just shows you how much I love it. And I've been, I'm open to using a lot of different soundtracks, but that song, it just, it really captures if I think something is, sad, or if I think it's beautiful, or whatever. That song just fits it. It's like I don't know. The song wears many hats. If you know what I mean.
I've got it on my playlist. Just I'd throw it on pretty much daily, just when I'm trying to relax.
Right. So good. But with all that being said,
What do
I
you
don't
think
know.
about the fact that 90% of the bosses are humanoid with tracking overheads and very similar movesets? That's my least
That's
favorite part of it.
that's also my least favorite part. Um, and also fighting like some of the same bosses over and over again.
Yeah, I mean the
Uh,
pursuer serves its own thematical purpose, but
and actually, the Pursuer is the only instance of that I don't mind. So the Pursuer, because he's actually really cool.
yeah,
He's a cool dude.
in theory he serves his purpose well.
but I mean like I'm not positive on the name. I think Dragon Rider is his name.
Yo,
Or
yeah, yeah. I know what
yeah,
you mean.
so there's like three bosses in the game who are that guy. Like
Yeah,
it's maybe a different name, but it's the same dude. And then you've got the Smelter Demon, and then like blue and the orange. It's like the
yeah,
same
yeah.
guy.
It's in terms of boss fights with DS2 compared to DS1, because I played DS2 before I played DS1. Going back and seeing the difference, it's night and day in terms
Right.
of
But where are the
realizing.
monsters? You know,
Yeah.
like where they do have some dragons represented, but
Hmm.
where are the freaking grotesque monstrosities that
Like
dwell in the
when you
deeps of your freaking nightmares?
when you get to Hades and you go over and you're like, oh, this fuck, it's Ornstein. This is fucking cool. And then you go the opposite direction and it's like, oh, it's like weaker Ornstein. Neat.
Right. Right. But yeah, I mean, it's all in all like as a Souls game, in my personal opinion, I'd rank it like not dead last. Honestly, and I know this might rustle some jimmies, but I did go back finally and play Demon Souls. I borrowed someone's PlayStation and went and bought Demon Souls.
Right.
And I mean, it was a good game, and I think had I played it first, like right when it came out, it would have.
It
Honestly,
suffers
I
the most from age.
yes, it definitely does. I I probably would rank that as my least favorite,
I would
but
agree.
Dark Souls 2 is next for me. Then I'd have to go. Bloodborne, I have very limited experience with, but I'd still probably put it above Dark Souls 2, and then Dark Souls 3, and then Dark Souls 1, and I call it a day. And really, it's weird to say this. So I've like, for the last year to 2 years, at any given moment in any week, I will boot up one of the Dark Souls games,
Right.
no matter what. No matter how many times I've beaten it, it doesn't matter. But I have found myself in probably the last 4 months without the desire to play. In fact, I haven't beat either bosses in the Dark Souls 3 DLC. I've
Really.
seen them both, I've encountered them both, but I don't really feel like playing. I don't know what it is. I just I overstayed my welcome in their world and they kicked me out. And
For me,
maybe next year.
the ranking of the games is a little more complicated for me because I'm not really sure how I feel about some of the things in each of them. Demon Souls is my at the bottom. I haven't played as much Demon Souls as I probably should. And then it's in between Dark 1 and Dark 2 which goes there. And I know that's the real unpopular thing, but even though Dark Souls 1 feels like a much better Dark Souls game, Dark Souls 2 just had so many more convenient things that made it feel like a better video game. And
Right.
I've got a really hard time ranking one above the other for each reason. And I've gone over these with you, like the fast travel not being available till later. It serves its purpose, but I don't like its purpose.
Right.
and
Yeah, and I
it's
get that.
then there's like with Dark Souls 2 because it was a different team. Like there's problems arising that were never there before. Like it was
Right.
actively creating issues that didn't have to be solved.
Right.
It's bizarre. And then I probably go Dark 3 and then Bloodborne at the top.
Okay.
But that's also they're pretty neck and neck.
Right.
I like the DLC of Bloodborne more than I like the DLC of Dark 3 so far.
Well, what DLC of Dark 3? It's nothing.
It's really
15
short.
minutes of gameplay.
There's really cool stuff in it, but it fell a little bit short for me.
Honestly, I think if it wasn't for Vati Video, there wouldn't be anything to it. Like the only reason I can enjoy that little taste of DLC is just how in-depth Vati can go
Yeah.
with it. Because I could not have gotten as much out of it as he does.
If you're gonna play Dark Souls games, folks, check out Vadi Video. Knowing the lore adds a lot to the series, and
Absolutely.
you're not gonna be able to just pick up the game and immediately know the lore.
Right.
It's pretty convoluted in that sense.
Right. And in fact, here's actually a good way of playing it because I have a strong belief in Dark Souls in particular.
Right.
I don't really care about many other games for this, but I think Dark Souls is a game that should be experienced blind.
I
So
agree.
with with no prior knowledge. So if you have not played any one of the titles, I say fire it up. Don't watch Vati, but after a
Once you're
boss,
done.
well, I mean, you don't even have to wait until you're done. I'm just saying, once you've defeated a boss or you've met a new NPC, then after you've, already seen their dialogue, you've already killed the boss, type in Vati video space and that character's name or that boss's name, and then get the backstory to it, and then feel like a complete bastard for killing an innocent person, basically, because that's what you're gonna feel like. Who's the real villain in these games? Is it us? Is
So
it them?
I agree with
Nobody
that.
knows.
I agree with that mostly, but I would actually say you should play through the game once completely blind, and then you should play through it again, looking at some item stuff and sort of piecing together the story on your own, and then you should go watch Vadi Vidya and go, oh, shit. Because it's fun to learn what you've misinterpreted even, which is strange to say, but when you learn that you're wrong about something, it's almost never less cool than what you assumed.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
It's always like
we should
way
move on.
more.
Should move
Yeah.
on from Dark Souls, even
Yeah,
though
let's do that.
I'm sure we'll talk about it in a later podcast because we could go on forever.
Yep.
The first game I want to talk about that I played a bunch of with Jeremy actually is The Last Guardian, and I love it. I'm a huge Shadow of the Colossus fan. I have been since I was little. If anybody that's watching this saw our top 100 video games video, you know that I put that pretty high on the list. Yeah, it's like Shadow of the Colossus, less combat-y, more puzzly, and it looks gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful games, at least to my personal taste, that I've played in a really long time, and I love it. I love it a lot so far. I've still got a lot to play, but Jeremy and I had a pretty good time playing it for probably 3 or 4 hours. We sat down.
Yeah, it feels like one of those games that's just like, oh wow, I've been at this for like how many hours now, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I haven't made like a dent into this game. Like you spend 4 hours and you're like, wow, I made some pretty good progress. Okay, let's see where I'm at. Oh,
And I'm out of the
that was
first cave now.
tutorial. The thing it kind of suffers from like early on is like camera controls. The camera, in
Yeah.
my opinion, is like fucking god
It's
awful.
very
and they definitely
floaty.
could have. Yeah, it's like opposite of like a laggy monitor, where like it responds immediately, but when you let go, it like goes a little bit. It's like I guess they did that for aesthetics, but like it's just so fucking annoying when you're trying to find out where to go, and you're like, no, I want over here, not like a little bit to the right of where I want to go.
So it's got like momentum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on its camera, and it's strange.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah, and I'm like pretty like when it comes to video games, I like action and all that stuff. So like I knew it was a puzzle game obviously going into it, but like it was still like it's a puzzle game at the end of the day. So it's one of those ones that you kind of just like sit down and relax to.
They hid a lot from us. They hid a surprising amount from everybody. Because,
For a game that was in development as long as it was, right?
yeah,
For like
but
10 years?
nobody knew that your creature was going to shoot lightning bolts out of itself, and that you would run into these fucking horrifying sword enemies that would fucking hunt you down. They hid, just from what we've already seen, they've hid way more than a lot of games managed to leading up to its release. And this was in development for a while. This was like 9 years of development.
Yeah, like, and the lightning shooting out of the beast is like a main mechanic for a while. Like, I don't know if we like get the thing back that you need to do it
Yeah, I
with, but
know.
like for 4 hours straight, we would just use that to like get through puzzles. And like the puzzles themselves were like some of them were kind of difficult, but like you can go anywhere in that game to the point where you could be traveling and just be like, okay, this could work, but this also looks like it works. Okay, now I'm gonna try this kind of thing. Like there's so many different options you can do. And then once you finally like finish the puzzle, it's kind of like a section almost where it's like, okay, now I'm on the next section. It feels nice to actually like get through the puzzle, and then it's like, okay, I have this whole entire area to scout now to see like where I have to go. Because once you finish a section, it's like you just have to look around for like 30 minutes until you finally find where you have to go. That's how like insanely big the game is.
Yeah, I think the difficulty level on puzzles is perfect.
Yeah, because I think it will obviously get more difficult as time goes on. Like again, I swear we only played like the
Yeah.
tutorial part,
But
even
like
though we
I
played like 3 or 4 hours of it.
I appreciate that there was no point when we were doing the puzzles that we were like super frustrated, but there was also no point we were doing the puzzles that was like we're blowing through sections or anything.
Yeah.
So that was good. But speaking about long development cycles, the other game that I got to play some of this month was Final Fantasy 15. And that game is goddamn amazing. I want to play way more of it than I've gotten to because, like I said earlier, I had a pretty busy month. But so far, I don't know how far I am percentage-wise into the story because I hear the story mode isn't actually that long. It's just a lot of the side quest stuff. But I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. I love the combat system. I love the new sort of aesthetic it's going with. It looks really, really good on the PS4. I can't say enough good about it so far.
And we've gotten to a time right now where like video gaming has never been as competitive as it is now.
Oh no, not
with
even close.
with the emergence of esports, few years ago, really going mainstream, like broadcasting it on actual national television. We've got like everyone is in this mindset of if you're not first, you're last, and
That's some good
what
Ricky
people.
Bobby there.
Yeah. So people are not like taking time to enjoy games. Sure, maybe that is a good way to play a online multiplayer shooter,
Right.
but a Final Fantasy game is like a fine wine. You are supposed to sip on it. You are
Yeah.
supposed to, get the scent, the aroma, and enjoy it. It's supposed to reach parts of you that you didn't even know a video game could reach. That's what Final Fantasy games have always been able to do for me in the past. Now, I can honestly say I have not played 15. I have watched some people play it because I just don't have a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox, and I probably won't ever play it unless it gets ported to the PC. But I can tell I'm a member of so many groups on Facebook, and the biggest complaint is, "Oh man, this game is so short." And people say, "Oh, I beat it on the first day." Like, how could you do that in a Final Fantasy? I don't care what game
Yeah,
it
they're
is.
not side questing enough.
Or like even just exploring, like let alone side questing. Don't you want to see every part of the world?
Yeah,
At the
I've been
very
doing quite a
first
bit of that.
time I unlocked a vehicle in Final Fantasy VII, I don't think I did a quest for a week. I was like looking all over the place, trying to find new stuff, listening to the new songs you'd find every time you entered a town. It's I don't know. It's just like one of the most rich experiences you get from gaming. You don't want to rush through that. So slow it down, guys. Let's take it down to like school zone speeds, 20 miles an hour. No 65 through here. Just breathe, enjoy the game. When it ends, then you can complain whether it was good or bad, but put at least 60 hours in it. Come on, it's a
And
Final Fantasy game.
much like a fine wine, it had to age a decade before we could even play it.
Yeah.
So the analogy is pretty on point there. And it's not
Right.
like the game is bad to look at. The game is gorgeous, so I don't know why people were seemingly discouraged from going out and checking out some of the landscapes and just taking their time on exploration, but it is a gorgeous game. It's a blast. You can drift on your chocobos. There's cock drifting in this game. And it's unbelievable. I really, really like it so far. It's one of the games I'm most looking forward to being able to, once things settle down again, spending some free time playing that game. Of course, Last Guardian's in there too. But we should move on to that, and I'll talk about the game that I've been spending most of my free time playing since Christmas, and that is Pokemon Sun. Now, I'm sure Jeremy will have some things to say about this, because he's played a lot of Pokemon Sun. I think it's a pretty swell game. It's pretty okay. I enjoy a lot of it. It has the worst Elite Four, bar none. I don't care if Jeremy's gonna disagree with that or not, but it is a trash Elite Four, which was really upsetting to me because I really dug a lot of it. The characters were good. I felt like they were pretty well developed. and a lot of the Pokemon were neat. The stuff that they did with the Alola versions of old Pokemon was cool. In the end, I ended up only running one Pokemon that was even from that generation, so I don't know what that says about it. But it was a pretty fun game. I enjoyed the story while it lasted. There's a couple good twists in there. There's some after-game stuff I still need to check out, but that Elite Four was fucking trash, and it bumped the game down a few slots for me in terms of which gen is my favorite. It's probably my fourth favorite gen, if I had to say right now.
It's so good.
Do you still rate it first, Jeremy? Do you still rate it first?
I still rate it first or second, honestly. Like, the amount of shit that they put into this game is actually crazy. Like, I don't have, like, whenever we go into a podcast, we usually have, like, brief things that we wrote up. But no, I got, like, nothing writ up here, so this is going to be pretty rough. But, like, they added, like, things to know exactly when, like, weather things would stop, such as, like, rain or hail or sandstorm, which was really good because it's a long time sometimes and people tend to forget, so you'd have to, like, write on your notepad if you're doing it competitive. But it's right there in front of you now. Same with things like stat buffs and stat decreases. Like, you can click on your Pokemon and you can see what's increased or decreased. And, like, if you're facing somebody with a Pokemon that you've caught before, or I think maybe even saw, I think it's caught though, it'll tell you what moves you have are super effective, not effective, or just plain effective, which is also really good for, like, newcomers into the series, because obviously they don't know what's super effective and what's not. The music was okay, I guess. It was pretty good.
It had its high points and it had its low points.
Yeah, honestly, it's it takes place in Hawaii, setting, so, like, they try to make all the music kind of chill, and it worked, honestly. I would have liked some more hype tracks, but honestly, there's probably only two that really get me going in terms of being pretty hype. Characters were great, like you said. What else? There's just so much stuff. HMs. You don't even need HMs anymore. Like, they should have done that a long fucking time ago. Like, little things that they added that just, like,
it made the game a lot more convenient. But, Mr. Happily Ever After Gaming, when's the last time you've sat down and enjoyed yourself a good Pokemon game?
Oh my god. Enjoyed would be the harder question. The last time I played one, probably 2 years ago on an emulator on my phone. The last time I enjoyed playing one, like, and actually saw myself through it, it's been a long time. Unless you count Pokemon Stadium or Pokemon Snap. I fire them up all the time.
But you know that feeling you get when you get through the game and you reach the Elite Four and it's a bunch of brand new, cool dudes who have been at the top and you've been trying to reach them this whole time and you have cool battles against everyone in the Elite Four.
Yeah.
Well, in this game, 3 members of the Elite Four are 3 people that you've already beaten previously in the game.
So you're already better than them.
You're already better than them. And it's
Okay.
really, really dumb.
Right.
It's set up, and it could have been so cool if they followed through, because there's a line where the professor says to you, because this is going to be this region's first Pokemon League, what we're going to do is we're going to have a big tournament to decide who's going to be the champion with the best trainers from all over. And that sounds awesome. I was really looking forward to that. And then you get there, and there's no tournament, and it's just a bunch of rematches.
Right.
It was so flaccid. It fell so short for me. I was getting all hype walking up there, and then it just fell off. And you don't trip at the finish line. You just don't.
Right. Well, I really, the best experience I ever had with a Pokemon handheld game was the original experience, my first experience. And I can say I had Pokemon Blue on the Game Boy Color, and I was so glued to this game that my family went on vacation. We went to a mountain in Kentucky where they have what is called the Natural Bridge, where at some point in history, a tornado threw this rock, which is about 50 feet long and about 20 feet wide onto the peak of one mountain, connecting to the peak of another mountain. So like two tips holding up this big rock. So it's called the Natural Bridge, and you can walk across it. Now, I walked. We hiked up this mountain and we went across this bridge. I didn't see anything because the entire time I was looking at my Game Boy. Everyone in my family is like, "Oh, look at that!" And there's a bird, and they're like, "Oh, what's over there?" And I'm like standing next to the edge on top of a mountain, about to fall off because I'm so glued to my Pokemon Blue.
Making the
So I mean,
important
yeah,
memories.
yeah, making what the ones that are actually going to matter someday.
Exactly.
But I really I lost it. I tried to get it back because I'm a very nostalgic person, and unfortunately, like I think nostalgia gets the best of me a lot, and then I kind of sometimes I pursue that feeling too hard, and I actually kind of destroy the memories of things that I thought were amazing.
Yeah, I know what you
If
mean.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
But yeah, I kind of feel like with this, so I've been, you guys know, I've been out of the console thing for a very long time. I pretty much only do retro stuff when I'm playing on a console.
Right.
But like I want to be excited about the Switch, and really there's not much out there that I am too excited for. Like I see like half the titles that are coming to the Switch that are like already announced are actually games that are already on the Wii U. And then the only one that I know for sure that I would buy would be Breath
Breath
of
of
the
the Wild,
Wild.
of course.
And I also know that they are pursuing porting all three Dark Souls games, which might mean Bloodborne as well, which was freaking cool. That
Yeah,
is
that's
cool.
pretty cool.
But at the same time, like I want to like I didn't buy a Wii U. I did buy a Wii, but it wasn't that great in my opinion. Uh, I want to just try to just go all in on the Switch and just see what happens. See if I can recapture that feeling without destroying old memories and try to make new ones with Nintendo.
I
So I
think
want to just
ukulele will be good for that.
well, I'm a freaking backer on
Yeah.
Kickstarter. I'm gonna have it on Steam, so that doesn't help me. I don't need it on two systems, but
It was canceled on the Wii U, eh?
yeah, yeah. And I kind of saw that coming. And now people are saying Breath of the Wild's probably not going to make it to the Wii U.
It better.
Yeah, well,
That's the only
Well,
reason
no,
I...
it is because that's the only reason they're delaying it right now. Like
oh
they
really?
said that, yeah, they said that like the recent delay for Breath of the Wild was because they're like, oh, we need to spend time porting it for the Wii U, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool.
I
Thanks.
also...
Cool.
I read something like the big wigs at Nintendo were saying it was going to be released much earlier than the actual people developing it were saying. Apparently, like when they told them the release date, they were saying the developers were actually like, no, we need way more time than that. And they were like, oh, too bad. That's what we're telling people.
Oh man, that sounds like Konami.
It really does. Except that
That's
they'd
not
have to
good.
take they'd have to take Aonuma's name off the product.
Right.
Poor Kojima.
Hey,
He's got his own thing going on now, though.
Yeah, I think Kojima's has a big future still ahead of him.
Death
So let's not
Stranding.
support
Death
this.
Stranding looks so good, so confusing,
yeah.
but so good.
So weird and ironic.
It looks very
Developer 40.
Kojima.
Yeah. Something else I just want to mention really quick. Like a favorite game in our household is The Binding of Isaac and just that series in general. Fantastic. Captures the spirit of, arcade gaming, while also, having fun progression based, all through items. Everything's randomly generated, procedurally generated, or however you want to say that. And I mean, it's just a fantastic game. It always has been. But what in the world that they just dropped an expansion pack yesterday, and like nothing but respect for these guys for so long. They like of all these indie developers pushing games out before they're done just to make a buck and then never actually coming back and
Right.
finishing it. We just had that happen with like the crown jewel of indie games. The Binding of Isaac just dropped Afterbirth Plus, and they claimed 50 new enemies and all new artwork, and a new final boss, and what actually we got was no new artwork, just recycled stuff. A lot of the enemies are just reskins of old enemies, and the new final boss, he transforms into the other bosses that we've already been fighting for the last few years. So super disappointed in that. I hope that we're going to see a response from the team behind that, Nicholas. Hopefully, they can just go ahead and like add everything they said they
Right.
were going to do. Just go ahead and make it right.
Yeah, I've
Unlike,
heard I've heard nothing but good things about the Binding of Isaac, but I haven't played it yet.
oh, it's such a, it's like it can be a casual game, but if you take it seriously, you will lose your day. Like it's gone. Like what? And it's bedtime. But
And it's gone.
right. And something I just thought of as well when you were talking about um, the Last Guardian, you were saying how like they had so many surprises, like they didn't give away anything when they
Right.
were developing that game. I guess we just have to address it really quick because we are in 2017. We're wrapping up 2016 with this podcast. No Man's Sky was the exact opposite of what you said. They told us everything that the game was going to have.
And a few things it didn't have.
Well, it turns out like most of it wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you saw the stats, No Man's Sky was the highest or most selling game of 2016.
Wow.
Here's the
Despite
thing.
That's a shame.
Heading
the
in
overwhelming. Oh, go ahead.
heading into to No Man's Sky, I thought the game looked really cool, but from the start I was saying it's not for me. It's not my type of game. So even though there was a part of me that's like maybe I should just check it out cuz it like in theory it's really cool, but the aesthetic is not for me, so I ended up not getting it. And boy, am I glad that I didn't.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's kind of how I feel about this whole Binding of Isaac thing. Is like, they promised one thing and we got something different.
Mhm.
So I just hope that 2017 starts off right. Developers are going to go in the path of telling the truth. Um, Hopefully, we're going to see even more companies stand up to the DLC issue that we've been having lately, where games are coming out incomplete and then being sold to you again.
Yeah.
We've seen a few companies last year come forward and say, we're going to actually do the right thing going forward. And, I applaud those companies, but I say the vast majority of them are still planning on releasing day one DLC. So if that's you and you're hearing this podcast, stop now. Don't do that.
I
It's
heard
just not right.
Did you hear about Square Enix? Square Enix's plan for DLC this year?
Free.
Yeah, they were saying they want to give back to their fans, so
Give
they're just
back,
going to
yeah.
do all the FF15 DLC and just give it out. So that's pretty neat.
That's That's awesome.
I
And I mean, it
appreciate
really
that.
should be like that. Because if you think back years ago, when games had updates that weren't like, big enough to call an expansion,
Right.
they were always free. And like that was just like a part of gaming. Like as soon as games went online, you knew that your game was going to be getting updates that would, it's been sitting on the shelf for a little bit, but you're like, oh, I'll get that back out because I think they added something to it. It'll keep you interested. But now that everything costs, I mean, by the time you're done buying all your DLC, you could have bought two, brand new games. So I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
glad that they're
I
going to go that route.
I feel like DLC is appropriate in some instances. If it were like different skins or different colors or shit like that, I don't mind paying a couple bucks just for some visual things. But when it's like this really cool, big, important thing and like another section of the game, it's like, oh, come on.
Right.
Yeah, but
Especially,
that's also the thing, though, right? Because if they want to make money, like, how many people are gonna buy it for skin skins versus, hey, here's a whole entire other part of the game. Like, that's just a business standpoint at
Well,
that point.
yeah,
Where they're just like,
exactly.
oh,
And
that's easy money.
That's what we're saying. We'd rather it
Exactly.
not be the business standpoint.
Well,
We'd rather it be.
I'm just saying, like, that will probably never happen
Yeah,
because
no,
unless
it
it's
will
like
not.
something like Final Fantasy where like they're like, we've been dick teasing you guys for far too long. You might as well have something free.
Can you
Now, you know,
believe? No, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. No, you.
Oh, all right, fine. I was just gonna say, can you believe that we're living in a world where both The Last Guardian and FF15 released in the same year? we could
And
sit
yeah.
down
Zelda
and play
U
both.
/ Breath of the Wild still hasn't.
Well, that's a little bit different because that's been like 5 years, 6 years. It's going on 6 years, but
Half-Life
fucking
3.
FF15 10 years, Last Guardian 9 years.
Half-Life 3, 150 years.
Yeah,
And counting.
They have I actually been looking into that again, man. Because like I didn't really care for a long time whether there would be a third one or not. But like after playing the shooting games, the story-driven shooting games that have been coming out as of recently, I mean, the games that are coming out are the reason why I don't like the genre anymore. Like, it's not like I'm bad at it. Sure, I might not be the most accurate person, but that's not what would keep me from playing the game. It's just they're not interesting anymore.
right.
And Half-Life had such a freaking deep story, and it like really made you not want to put it down. It's just like reading a good book. And it like I'm sick of the crap. I'm sick of the crap they're shoving down our throats. I need a Half-Life 3. But the hype on that game is built up so high that I could understand them never making it.
How could
I-
they possibly live up to the expectations?
Right. Absolutely. And I totally understand where they're coming from. But if somebody else wants to just, do a spiritual successor to Half-Life, just like Ukulele, that'd be sweet. And it could be a whole new story and everything, but, in the same style. And that'd be cool.
It's actually, I was just watching, I'm a big fan of the Joe Rogan podcast, and I was just watching a section where he was talking to a fellow comedian, and they were talking about how comedians actually hate being introduced onto stage or like backstage as like a legendary comic because it sets them up for failure to not
Right.
reach expectations. And yeah, apparently like if you're introduced as a legendary comic or something, it really bums you out that you've got to go out and try to live up to that.
Yeah, I could imagine that.
And so I'm using that as an analogy for what a lot of games go through.
Right.
I'm sure Breath of the Wild won't be as godlike as we're expecting, but I'm still expecting it to be.
I mean, I don't think that is unrealistic. I really don't. Like, even if it wasn't Zelda, it might just be an average game. But because it's Zelda, it's going to be amazing. It's just there's something about that the genre, the series. I don't know. It's more than just a game.
Here's what I'm worried about, though. I'm worried about how focused they were on doing brand new things. How much did they lose of the original format that made it so great?
Well,
Yeah, that's a good
in the
question.
end, they're gonna lose a lot, honestly. Nintendo's like the creator of just, hey, let's try new things and abandon like all the cool things that
But here's
everyone
the
else
thing,
loves. But
they did
we
it
say
with
they
Skyward
hate.
Sword. They did it with Skyward Sword, making it all motion controls, and I loved it. So,
Yeah, but that's not really getting rid of Zelda stuff. That's just like adding another layer. Whereas
but we
this game
don't
is
we
just
don't
like,
know if they've gotten rid of all the Zelda stuff.
but they got rid of some things where it's just like, hey, you started the game with a bow and arrow now. It's not even like a finish the dungeon, get the item anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm concerned about how much that's going to take away from it when the controller's actually in hand.
But what if they are implementing all new weapons and new little trinkets and toys and tools and gadgets that are like just finally, taking that step forward where maybe you do get introduced to your, the old school arsenal, what we've always had, what we've always went out and found. They introduce you that early because now they have bigger and better plans for you and more ways to do it. I don't think that really takes away if that is the path they're taking. I don't want it to be like, a massively multiplayer online game where there's 100,000 weapons and every one of them has a
Right.
slightly different name and 3 different stats. I still want the feeling from Zelda where there's like 6 swords in this game, and yeah, figure out which one you like, go find it. I think there shouldn't be like an overwhelming number of possible items to wear. It's just
And
I think they could do some new things.
it seems like they monitor that with how not durable the weapons appear to be. Like, it seems like you're going to find this sword a billion times in this playthrough, but it's going to keep breaking, so.
Right. Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
It
Uh,
just seems like one of those games where it's like collect materials, make things kind of game. I can't really think of an exact like game to go off of for an example, but like if you know what I mean, because like they start off the gameplay with like collecting certain things like
Yeah,
wood and all that
cooking and all
stuff.
that
Yeah.
stuff.
And this
So it
is
seems
not
like
to say that we're not excited.
no, obviously not. It's just I don't want them to completely change a whole lot because I've already had that with Paper Mario. And after the second installment, it got real shit, and then even more shit, and then just eventually not even Paper Mario anymore. So I just really hope they don't do that with Zelda.
Jeremy and I have had this discussion. I want to get your opinion on it. It's the voice acting in the new one. I am 100% against it because I felt like the sort of Hylian language being jumbled up stuff throughout all the Zeldas, I thought that was part of the charm that added to the Zelda experience. And going in and hearing people talk to me in it, I'm worried that might take me out of it.
Totally.
Jeremy likes the idea of the voice acting. So where do you sit?
No, I lean more on your side. Uh, I mean, I think, I retain the information in games better when I read it. I mean, I think I'm just that way in life in general. So when the reads things to me, I forget crap all the
Right.
time. And even with subtitles, like my brain is lazy. Like if I hear it happening, I won't read it. But I think like a part of why a lot of the events in the old Zelda games are so ingrained in my memory is because I've read them over and over again because I've played them so many times.
Yeah.
And I really like that. And it is I thought like especially Wind Waker in that regard, how charming their little goofy voices were.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. And yeah, I feel like that would, kind of take away from my overall enjoyment, but I don't know, maybe I'll just find a volume setting and turn the sounds off.
And I'm like, it's also unclear how much voice acting there's going to be. It's, at the end of the day, it's just we don't know enough about a game that's been in development for 6 years.
Right.
And I guess that's a good thing, because I was just talking about how it's great that The Last Guardian hid so much from us, but this is some pretty vital information to longtime fans that need to know this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Honestly, like voice acting either way, if it happens, I don't care. If it does, I don't care. It's just I see your I guess complaint kind of where if they were like it would kind of take the charm out of it. But at the same time, you actually used like an example from Wind Waker, and I'm also going to use one from Wind Waker, where like you're on top of freaking Hyrule against Ganon, and it's just like you turn around, you hear "Urgh," and then a line of text, rather than like like a deep voice of like, hey, this is the final battle kind of thing. It makes it more intense rather than just like he just looks at you and it's like
But I feel like the goofiness
it
of that
immerses
adds
you
to it
more.
to me.
No, it doesn't for me because you're in a serious setting. You're like, this is it. This is the final battle. This is where it all ends. And then it's just like, oh, okay. Like it would be way more immersive if it was just like, talking to you like, again, this is it. This is the final thing. There's nothing else after this. Like it ends here kind of deal. More serious. But like in another way, like for all the rest of the game, like just talking to like townspeople, I feel like without voice acting and stuff like that.
It
would
also
be better.
depends what voice actors they use. 'Cause,
Exactly. That's
like,
what I mean. Like
I don't get me wrong.
everyone-
I love Troy Baker and Nolan North, but if I play my Zelda game and I've got Troy Baker and Nolan North talking to me, I'm going to be really upset.
Yeah, it all depends. Like, that's just voice acting in general. Like, you can either do it really good or you can do it bad. And that's another reason why I think, like, sometimes, in those situations it'd be good, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like just for cutscenes, they'll probably use voice acting, and then stuff that isn't cutscenes, they'll probably just use the normal Zelda charms, so they don't have to waste all that time on voice acting. And or if it's terrible, people are just gonna be like, oh, I have to hear this all the time, kind of thing.
And I think that kind of my preference actually probably isn't rooted in Zelda, and it's probably rooted more into
Yeah,
Banjo
exactly.
Tooie. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like not wanting to let go of that. I'm not
Yeah.
open to new things if they can prove themselves to me that it is better this way. I'm willing to accept it.
And you see, that's where I'm a little bit different from you two. Where, don't get me wrong, I love like the Banjo games, Donkey Kong 64, those types of collectathons. But I'm much more rooted in the Zelda formula than I am those two.
Right.
So while we're on the topic of Zelda, might as well say another game that I've been playing a little bit of is The Legend of Zelda: The Twilight Princess HD. And that game is gorgeous. They did it justice. I don't know how I feel in comparison to Wind Waker HD so far, because I haven't gotten that far into it. So far, I'm enjoying it a little bit less than Wind Waker HD, but I'm probably pretty biased on that.
Oh yeah, definitely you are.
I mean,
I
like,
mean,
when you add the Swift Sail, come on. Like, they just made the game 2 times better.
and I felt like the
But it,
Wind Waker style was very well suited for an upgrade visually.
but don't you feel like it's kind of terrible that a entire console, like its best titles, are just remakes of old
Yeah. Oh
titles?
yeah. Yeah. It's awful.
That's just Nintendo in
I
general,
mean,
though.
Splatoon's good.
Everybody
Splatoon's fucking
throws
amazing.
Splatoon in there.
The new Xenoblade was
Everybody.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, the new Xenoblade was okay. I prefer the last Xenoblade, but it's alright.
Okay.
Smash Bros,
Yeah,
which
new Smash.
Yeah.
Smash
Oh,
Mario
man,
Kart 8
that's
was fun. It had all the staples you're used to, but just nothing that blew anything else out of the water.
right. I mean, I just want to see, I want to see Nintendo be competitive again. I really like I am excited for the Switch and I think it is a cool concept, but at the same time, I would have been way more pumped if they would have just said, "Look at this console. It has a controller. See,
Yeah,
it's just a console with controller. Remember the GameCube? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Here we go. And like, look, we can put rated M games on here. And I know there are a couple. Everyone wants to say that, but a couple, come on. We can put some serious games on here and stand up against these other consoles.
when you look at a list of the names of companies backing them, though, it's very very promising. Seeing
Yeah.
FromSoft on the list, seeing fucking Atlas on the list, it's exciting.
Oh yeah, I fully expect we're gonna probably see uh, the Digital Devil games on there. I think like if you think back to the GameCube, there were a lot of great like mature horror games
Oh yeah.
on the GameCube. Alone in the Dark. You had the Resident
Pokemon
Evil
Colosseum.
remakes. Zero.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man, but
Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
so hopefully, horror has like kind of become my new favorite genre. It's like my modern genre, and I would like them to put some games on there. They could do another Luigi's Mansion. That'd be cool.
That would be cool as long as they do it justice.
They put all the good
Yeah.
games on freaking 3DS,
They
though,
really
'cause
they
they're
really do.
dumb.
They put a lot of the good games on 3DS now.
Yu-Gi-Oh's coming back. Did you guys hear that?
Well, it never really went away.
Well, it did though, didn't it?
It died to
Yeah,
me.
you're not wrong.
But I went and saw the Star Wars, and they showed a preview for a Yu-Gi-Oh movie, and I was like totally on board, dude. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Yeah, I got to go watch this."
Oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. It's like the original characters kind of thing, but with like new cards or something like that. Like they got like Kaiba has like a brand new Blue Eyes card or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I've definitely heard what you're talking about though.
it looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean I was never really out of Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's just speaking on the original. I was kind of into GX for a bit.
Yeah,
And
GX
then
was okay. After that, it was
anything post GX was not very good to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Polymerization.
So anyways, the last couple games that I played, these I'm not going to talk too much about, just things to touch on briefly, because neither of you guys give a goddamn fuck about Dragon Ball Z, but I played the new Dragon Ball 3DS game, Dragon Ball Fusions, and I'm a fan. It's better than the ones for PS4, in my opinion. I also played a very small amount of Battlefield 1, and it's fun, but I am
Okay.
the worst Battlefield player, I think, ever. And besides that, it's old news, so not really any needed to touch on it for too long, but we played a lot of Smash Bros. This past month.
Yeah.
Quite a
That's
bit.
Smash.
Awesome, awesome.
So that was my
Yep.
December.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any short-term goals?
I would like to reach 1,000 subscribers in the next little while. That is my big goal.
Yep.
We seem to be picking up the pace in subs, so hopefully if we're being consistent, it'll pick up even faster.
Yeah. Jeremy, anything?
To become not bad at Smash, that'd be cool.
He says
Well-
as he's one of the fucking top 10 players in Ottawa.
Shut up.
Yeah,
I'm
but
bad.
like we mentioned earlier, if you're not first, you are last.
Well,
Yeah,
I
you're
mean-
just shit.
That's not untrue.
Basically, me and Jeremy are on the same level, and I haven't played Smash in a decade.
Yeah.
So clearly you're better than either of us. You're going to
Yes.
get the beginner's luck again.
Probably not. Well, over here at Happily Ever After Gaming, I'm going to say short-term goal would be to master the new algorithm, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
so I can actually get my videos back out in front of people. And
Clearly
the
it's just
biggest
be
goal-
clickbaity. Clearly.
I don't want to do that.
Well, yeah.
That
Obviously.
is what it is right now. But
It's
there's
what it
got to
is
be
right
more.
now. I'm
But then there
proud
has to
that
be
neither
more
of us
to
have
it.
stooped to that level.
I mean, I don't think I haven't thought of it. I thought about making my next video, but like make it whatever I want, but then title it "Cut Sex Doll with Hot Knife, 1,000 degrees," and then
Sizzle equals subs,
just see
dude.
what happens. Like, because what in the hell is the point in that anyway? If you enjoy that, that's fine. But why does that have to be on top? Why can't
Yeah.
that just be like a weird little fetish thing that people find on their own? It doesn't have to be shoved in my face nonstop.
I can see how
Ugh.
some of it would be satisfying to watch, but I don't know how this many people think that many different videos of the same thing over and over again is satisfying.
Right. Man, yeah, I just don't get it. But so hopefully either that or the algorithm just changes again and it, favors original content over just mindless bullcrap. I don't know.
It's not really
I-
it's not really clickbait, but I was thinking of I ended up not doing it obviously, but before we decided on doing this podcast, that information I got out at the beginning, I was planning on doing a little video talking about it beforehand, entitling it "I Need to Apologize" and just putting a picture of Steve Harvey as the thumbnail. I thought that would have been funny, but I decided against making that video.
Yeah, that's totally like Leafy. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Also, another like major goal is to make Let's Plays a staple of my channel. like it is a staple in terms
Yeah,
of content.
it's going to be a
It
little tricky
vastly
to transition back into that.
right. Well, I just like I don't know. I need that. My audience is not on board for it. I need to get more people from outside of my normal audience to come in. That's the issue, and that's the problem with the current algorithm. Is it's hard to get new faces because I'm not even able to pull in all my own fans. You know, it's hard to get everybody on board immediately when I make the like Future of Finn's Arm Adventure Time Explained, the video I just made. It's got 4,000 views. I've got 10,000 subscribers. So I mean, it's I can't reach 100% of my subscribers when it's what they want. So when I'm uploading stuff that they didn't ask for, it's not even close. I need to be able to branch out and find more of an audience, a broader audience. So that's probably my goal of this year is to, I don't know, let's just say have any given let's play I upload reach 1,000 views, 1,000 even. That'd be very, very good for me. I would be very pleased with that because it just feels, it gives you a little bit more motivation. I mean,
Yeah.
And I do miss some of your old
it's-
LPs.
yeah, I went a long time uploading those LPs and getting 5 views per video or less, and I mean it was fine then because I didn't know any different. But then when I have a video hit 267,000 views, and then I upload a video and it gets 127 views and stops, like it's not going to start getting views every day. It's done. It's like tombstoned. But the other video, it's still getting stuff. I don't know. It is a little like, it feels like demotivating, but it really shouldn't be because if I just think of it in overall terms, my Let's Plays have grown, 20 times. If I used to get 5 and now I get 120, that's way better. So, I mean, I guess sometimes I have a hard time being optimistic. I find myself,
It's hard to
feel
be
negative.
unique when you're doing Let's Plays. It's hard to stand out
Yeah.
because there's already
That's
so many uploads of the same thing from people who already have a larger fan base. It's hard to think of a way to make yours stand out above theirs. And we try to do that every now and then. We'll come up with like, we're going to LP this game, but during this game, let's do something, let's put a spin on it.
No one's ever done that.
Let's do these quiz questions throughout it, and people can sort of learn these cool facts as they go about this stuff. Or, we try to do stuff like that as we go. And it's part of the reason why I love recording for Shining Force 2 so much. It's because that's one of the ones we got to put a bit of a spin on. And it's fun to do, but it's hard to come up with new things.
Yeah.
And when you said short-term goals, I actually do have one for the channel, and that's just to get like a small fan base of any kind. Like I honestly don't care. The views, the subs, I could care less about. Honestly, I just want to like upload a video and know that people are actually watching kind of thing, not just like upload a video, it's there, nothing happened to it, and then you just go on and upload another one kind of thing. It's just really like that was the reason like back in the day I just wouldn't upload sometimes because I'm like, what's the point? Nothing is
Right.
happening. Every
Absolutely.
single video is getting like 2 views. I don't have any likes on them. Like nobody is talking to me. Like what's the point? I'm just putting content on channel for nothing. I'm spending all this time for nothing kind of thing. So like again, I don't care about like money or anything. Subs, likes, likes to know that, I'm doing the right thing kind of thing. But like I just want a small fan base that I can just like communicate to, and like people are like,
Interact
oh, thanks
with.
for exactly, and like things like, oh, maybe you're doing this wrong, you should improve by doing this kind of thing. Because yeah, that would be cool.
We love
Because I
more
see it
than
on your videos all the time, and it's
more
just
than
like, wow,
likes.
that
We
would
love
be cool.
comments.
Yeah.
Yes.
We enjoy responding to people down in the comments a lot. And like it may seem from like an outside looking in when you're just reading something disingenuous when you see somebody thanking like 5 or 6 different people for saying similar things, but every comment we get that are like giving us positive feedback or just saying thanks for the video, I enjoyed it. It actually does mean a lot to us, and it's very rewarding to see that.
Oh, I mean, I know how you said it might seem, disingenuous to see that, 6 times. I do it every time. Guys, my new video has 272 comments on it, and I'm telling you, of the 272, mine has half of those have to be me because I reply to freaking everyone, and it's just like amazing to me that someone even wants to comment on it. I mean, I feel totally like in debt to them that I have to respond to them, whether it is just typing TY or if they actually left a thoughtful comment with, some information that I might have missed or with some tips that would help me going forward. And then I actually have a full on discussion. But I feel just like so like in debt to these people. I have to talk to them because like I went so long without having any communication. Like what in the world? Why wouldn't I, respond? Who am I not to respond? So I know that's probably an issue. I kind of get the feeling like people are like, okay, we get it. Yeah, you're thankful. Cool. All right, shut up. But like, no, I really am, and I probably always will be this way. I don't know. I hope I don't get jaded, but it's just I don't know. It's what I don't know how else to say it.
I hear where you're coming from, honestly. It's like when you see like those videos of like 5 million subs or whatever, it's like, honestly, thank you guys so much. And then you're watching it and you're just like, man, like, this is kind of annoying, like, kind of thing. Like, you're thinking in your head, like, who cares? Like, but like, you don't understand that until you're in that person's shoes, kind of thing. Because, like, I've definitely had that where people talk on or like comment and then I'm just like, wow, that was awesome. Like I actually love communicating with people. I know I'm doing the right thing. I know that, these people like my content. But then on the other side of thing, like before I even started making videos, I would like see something like Markiplier and he'd be like, thank you guys so much. I'm like, oh, this is just annoying at this point. Like you have 5 million subs. Oh yeah, we get it. You're good. But like, no, I now understand where like YouTubers are coming from. Like you put all that time in. It doesn't seem like it takes a long time, but honestly,
right,
it does.
For the most part, it doesn't matter what you're watching on YouTube. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. There are an insane amount of hours that go into any video. And I guess that just as the more you grow, the more that actually increases.
Yeah.
You're not going to spend less time. You're going to constantly want to improve your product. So I totally get what you're saying. Like before I even got anywhere on YouTube, I would see, Markiplier's newest upload where he's going to say thanks and start crying. And me and my wife would be like, ready, like, you got your shot ready? We both take a shot and start crying, But like, maybe I'm not at the point. I'm not at the point to like move to tears because I don't really I don't cry from happiness really. I just like I cry from being sad. So you guys want to see me cry on camera? You call me like names and stuff, but I mean, I just I want to just express how thankful I am, and I totally get why he is moved as much as he is because it like. Who else gets to experience that? I'm not experiencing it yet. I know you guys aren't, but like for real, like anybody in his size, like who gets that life? I know it is a lot of work, but at the same time, it's not work that you don't want to do. Like
exactly.
You wake up, if you know that that's what you have to do for the day, how much motivation is there? Like if you just like overflowing with it and you breeze through it. Whereas dude, I get up at whatever time, usually 5 or 6 in the morning, and I go freaking run a machine all day. It's not a bad job, but I'm not like excited for that. It's just like a means to an end.
Yeah.
Whereas
you have like your standard job, right? Like you said, and then there's like YouTube where like you can just do like if you were for say Markiplier where he's just like making a video and he makes money off of that, you can express yourself in any way in like any of those videos, right? Like you can take a twist on anything you want, you can make whatever you want, whereas like a standard job is just like you go in day out, same thing, come back home, pay the bills kind of thing.
Right.
Something I need to commend you on actually is the community that you're building is really, really terrific over there. When I did the Bloodborne video on your channel, I was so worried about like backlash I was going to get because people are very passionate about their Soulsborne. And the responses I got, even though like they weren't all agreeing with everything I said, they were all very, very polite and well worded with it. And it was a total blast to communicate with some of the people over there.
Right, and actually it's weird because like my subscribers kind of like go out of their way to make sure that they're not like upsetting you. So like if they are going to give you constructive criticism, or in your case, if they're going to totally just poke holes in your theory, they started out by like, hey man, it was a really well thought out idea, and I liked it a lot, but here is why it's not right. Whereas, if you go to certain channels, I'm not going to mention
Fuck
any
you!
names. Yeah, like, dude, this is totally ridiculous. Where did you come up with this? Did you just like throw a dart at a list of things that could have possibly happened, and boom, there it is?
Also, yes, that's how we did that.
Yeah, that is actually how Brendan came up with that theory.
I actually wrote the entire script that way. I just had a board full of words. It's like wherever it hits is the next one I say.
Came out pretty good.
Yeah, it
surprisingly
actually came out
coherent.
So. And actually, I forgot to tell you, but you did just get a new response on that video, and it was somebody else's theory, and I didn't really understand it, as I have never beaten that game, but you might want to go check that out.
I will definitely do that, because more than anything, like, I didn't mind that I was incorrect. Like, leading into it, I talked to you about it a bunch before, and I was like, it's probably missing a bunch of things, but it'll be fun to put out there anyways, and it got people talking, and that's really what I wanted in the end.
Right. Absolutely.
So we're creeping up on 450 here. We should probably call it a podcast for now.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Unless there's anything else you guys wanted to touch on.
Fire Emblem should be on the Switch. I'm just saying, stop releasing it for the 3DS, you fucking morons.
Hey man, Pokemon might be on the Switch.
All right, everybody. Well, I enjoyed being on the podcast. I hope I can, continue this on a regular basis.
Nice having you, my dude.
Yeah, and I want to do some more collaborations of various styles going forward. I want to see you guys on my channel. I want to get on your channel. I want to play a game with one of you, because that has never happened. I want to actually play a game with one of you. That's got to happen eventually.
It's starting to sound like Saw.
Let's play a game.
Let's play a game. But yeah, it's always a blast working with you. You're always great to chat with, and I also hope that you can continue to come back for these podcasts, because you're a great member.
Oh man, I just all in a day's work, I guess.
Now, how do we make the conclusion to this less awkward now?
You don't have to. I think everybody is like being awkward is kind of the hip thing to do right now.
Oh well, if that's what the kids are doing, then thank you guys for watching
hip to be square.
Watching the Quick Attack podcast. We'll see ya in the next big video, big fun, happy time.
Yeah, we did it. 720p, 1080p, HD. Bye.